All right, so just to kind of review the practice and give you some examples on how to use Desmos. So we're talking about function notation, and we're talking about the fact that you are going to do an input and an output. So in your videos, you've learned that g of x, f of x, h of x are just names. They're labels. They mean y. They mean that if I input x, then I get out the value of y. So the function notation is being read that I'm going to input my x into my g function. And again, the g function is the label. This right here is your g function. That is the function that it is talking about. So when you're doing this, and I'm looking at, they're asking me to find g of -3. So remember just a second ago when you wrote g of x, what was inside of that parentheses? Well, inside of that parentheses was an x. So you're replacing x with the number -3. You're replacing x with the number -3. You are going to input -3 into the x spot. And I know that I'm going to do it in the x spot because they're labeled g. If I had it labeled at f, then I would put it in the f function. If I had labeled it h, I'd put it in the h function. So I'm going to use my function. So remember, my function is -3x². So where x is, I'm going to take x out, and I'm going to just put a parentheses there. It is a reminder that I'm inputting something in for x. Squared plus 7. And I'm going to input that value of -3. That input is what is replacing the x value. Now, if you don't know how to do this, then that's fine. Open up Desmos. You should have been using Desmos before now. We've shown you several examples of using Desmos. You're going to type -3, parentheses, -3, and the a raised to 2, that's the square button, plus 7. And it gives me -20 as my output. So I know that g of -3 gives me an output of -20. So -3 is my x,